Welcome to PJ Live with your hosts, Laurie and Andrea. PJ Live is a fun, fast-paced weekly recap of PromoJournal's content. Tune in for highlights from all of the articles, blogs, vlogs, and podcasts from the week. Then grab your favorite snack or beverage and peruse PromoJournal.com for the content that interests you. But first, here's Laurie and Andrea.
Welcome to PJ Live, a weekly recap of PromoJournal's content. I'm Laurie.
And I'm Halle.
And she's the co-host this week.
Yes, I am.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Andrea is off. We hope she is feeling better. You are missed. So I don't know if you're watching us. We'll try to do you proud. All right. So how have you been?
Good. Excited to be back.
Yes, Halle just returned from a European adventure.
Yes, it was incredible.
Tell them where you went.
I went to Italy and stayed in Sorrento and walked around. I went to some Amalfi Coast towns, spent the day in Capri. It was amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
I'm jealous. I'll get there someday. It's on my list. All right. So we are actually going live a little early this week because we were invited to the Walker Clay Appreciation Cookout.
I'm very excited. They have the best ice cream truck in the world there, so I will be eating some ice cream this afternoon.
They do. I know. I'm really excited. And it's a gorgeous day.
It is. It's very nice.
Beautiful. So get to sneak out. So
we'll see you soon, Walker Clay.
That's right. We will. All right. So let's start with branding banter. The branding banter this past week talked about, they took an inside look at big growth. So PPI had recently had their top 100 lists, and there were some companies that really had huge growth. The Magnet Group being one of them. In 2023, they were 43rd, and this past year they had moved up to the 9th spot. So they had Laurie Bolton come on, and Laurie was talking about the growth and, you know, what she thinks was behind some of it. So great conversation, and huge kudos to the Magnet Group.
Yes.
That's really impressive. So you can take a listen and see what's behind the big growth. All right. And then we started the week with the Monday Minute, and Kirby always starts us off on a nice foot.
Yes.
He said this week that we need to learn to ask better questions. So I got a few for you.
Okay.
Best thing about where you live?
I can walk to places. It's a walkable area.
That is nice. Best thing about summer?
Being able to be outside.
Best thing about getting up early?
You have so much more of the day before you have to go to work.
And the best thing about your mother?
That you're my mom. And you're so nice. Sorry.
I am pretty nice. All right. So that leads us into Kirby's Monday Minute. He said that if you're feeling negative or stuck, that it's probably a good time to start asking yourself better questions, because sometimes we get into this like trap of asking ourselves, like, why does this always happen to me? Or why can't I ever get ahead? Do you ever find yourself there?
Yeah, just feeling a little stuck.
Yeah. So he said, if you rephrase it and ask yourself, what's the best thing about, then it kind of gets you unstuck.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's why I was asking you about, you know, what's the best thing about? I wasn't sure what you were going to say about getting up early, but you found something good about it. So what's the best thing about? Even the crappy things.
Yeah.
There's something good about it, I'm guessing. So give it a watch and turn your questions around and start asking yourself better questions. I liked that.
I like that too.
All right. And then let's talk product this week. Allie Morin had 5 products from Lincoln Line, and she had her favorite. I had my favorite. I won't give away what hers was, but they had a couple of really neat things. One of them was this emergency, I call it an emergency tool, and it had a crank on it, and it also has a solar panel. So it's a radio, it's a power bank, it's a flash, like an emergency beacon light. That was really impressive.
It was cool.
I really like that one. And then there was a paracord bracelet. That blew my mind. So the way that it's woven, you can, in case of emergency, you can pull apart the paracord and it turns into these huge like lines, and it's really strong. So you could use it for different things. So there's some really neat things in there. So you can give Let's Talk product a watch. Look at the 5 products from Lincoln line and let us know which one was your favorite. All right. And then picks of the week this week. Our theme was bank on this. Products for the financial institutions out there. So
I'm going to the bank this afternoon. I'll see if I can find any of these products there.
well, the bank always has.
They do always.
They
have
always
promo.
have good promo.
So maybe I'll have some next week for you guys to share.
Well, you know what? You might find one of these. I think you might. All right. So let's start with Mandy Clay. So Mandy had the Javelina pen from HPG, and this is a go-to. Banks
they're
always have
everywhere.
these.
Yep.
They really do. So can't go wrong. Lots of color options. So the Javelina from HPG. And then Emily Codner had this, I think was my favorite.
This
was really cute. So
I hope my bank has this.
I know. And if not, somebody needs to sell it to the bank. So it ships flat. And then you just pop it together, and it has that little cork nose. So it's a
very cute
cardboard piggy bank. So I love that. I thought that was so cute. And that's from Wildline. So really neat product there. And then the last one, Chelsea Williams had the wallet shield from Handstand.
That's a good one.
It is. So it has the RFID blocking in it. It's a card. It fits in most wallets, and it helps block electronic pickpocketing. So
it's a good one.
Yeah. So 3 great picks there for the financial industries. So you can go over to PromoJournal.com, click on Picks of the Week, and you can read up on all those picks. Best part is it is an end user safe piece of content, so people can share that with their customers. All right, and cruising along.
Building You with Kat Hinckley. I liked this one. It was that confidence is a skill, not a trait. And then she kind of had you think back on whenever there was something that you were nervous about doing, like a call or a presentation, the more you did them, the easier it got. And I think that's so true, because I remember even just going on like group calls was stressful, and now that's like not stressful at all. So just keep doing it, and you'll trick yourself into having confidence in that task.
Yeah, I really love this one too. And it's so true. Most people don't believe this, but as a young child, I was extremely shy and lacked confidence. And so I 100% agree that it is a skill. It's something that everybody can learn with practice. So, and it's true, the more you do things. So I love that. So if you're out there feeling uncertain and, keep doing it. Keep doing it. All right. And she said that confidence is built through action.
Yes.
So good stuff there. All right. And then, this week we had a brand new piece of content drop. I was so excited for this.
Yes, we did. This is Merch and the Girly with Savannah, aka Merch Girly. And I was so excited for this new blog to come out. It is a trend piece. She'll be writing a monthly blog touching the promotional space and in like the world and where and how it relates to the promotional products industry. So for this episode, it was her inaugural first post. Think Sex in the City. She gives her tasteful truths on a few pieces of promo that are currently trending, and just kind of gives an overall overview of what to expect with this series.
Yes. So she described it as it's where bold truths, branded moments, and unapologetic confidence collide in the promo industry's most iconic new blog. So, and each week she's going to have 3 sections each month she's going to have 3 sections in her article. You touched on a tasteful truth, and then she's going to do merch moments times Merch Girly, and then a mantra of the month. So it should be really fun.
Yes.
And I learned so much new stuff. I was like, I felt really old. I was like, I don't know what any of this stuff is. So if you don't feel like you're up on the trends and what's going on out there, it's great. And I do love how she connects it to the promotional products industry and what's going on. So Good stuff there. Go give it a read if you haven't. And delivering marketing joy this week, Kirby Hausman sat down with a brand new rock star, I believe, Connor Witter from Crew Marketing. And he is an expert on SEO and Google Ads. So he talked about generating leads and the importance of Google Ads. And so one of the challenges was, he said, is channel overwhelm. So there's just so many channels and places that everybody has to be. So good stuff there. So you can listen to Kirby's conversation with Connor and see how you can start incorporating. And they did talk about Google Ads, and they have the perception of being expensive, and they are, but he says it is a good return on your investment. So looking at that. And then Artificially Authentic this week, Nick Latour and Raul Rodriguez tackled the question, will AI take over the promotional products industry? Guess what the answer is?
No.
Spoiler. So you can give them a watch and see what their thoughts are on that. But if you're afraid that AI is taking over everything, they're here to reassure you it is not. So, phew, thank God.
Yep.
All right, and then moving on, we had Marketing Matters with Greg Emmer, and his blog post this month was titled "Marketing Begins with Branding." So it's your logo and a memorable statement. And he dives into, or he asks the question, what is someone's response when they see your logo, your business name, your photo? So he said it's good to stop and kind of think about that. What are people feeling and thinking when they see all of that? So whatever the impression is, it is 100% what you have established. So it's on you, people. If people don't think highly of your brand or your logo or your business name, that's all you. So change starts with us. Good stuff. Yeah. So you can give that a read. And what else do we have? Selling Seven Figures.
Selling Seven Figures. So this week or this month, Natalie O'Leary was on as the guest. And she talks about going back to work after having her children and social media and how she's made it work for her. And I mean, she is just like the person to follow on social media. So I love her takes and how she kind of like curates her content, and spoiler alert, it's all fun. Like she puts no pressure on it. It is strictly a fun thing that she does in addition to her job. And then
can we stop there for just a minute? Like in addition to, so she has a full-time job. She has 3 little kids, and she puts out stuff every single day, every day. And it's like, I know what goes into it. It's a lot. So kudos to you, girl. Yes. I don't know how she manages all of that.
No, she's very impressive. And so you have to listen to her talk about it, because it's more impressive to listen to her talk about it.
Some people don't sleep. I'm convinced. She might be one of them. So good stuff there. You can go listen to Kevin Mulaney's conversation with Natalie O'Leary and see how she does it all. So that was good stuff. All right. And then Paul Kiwi had his article this week in his Pursuit of Purpose blog, and he talks about the power of discipline. So turning challenge into a competitive edge. And he said facing facts isn't a one-time gut check, which I liked that. I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's hard to face facts, and it is a little bit of a gut check. So he said, you got to keep doing that. And he gives some ways for people to, address these things, blocking time every week to learn something new, which I really liked. I don't think I ever spend enough time blocking time to learn something new. So I marked that one down. I'm like, I need to do that. Following up with clients consistently, keeping your CRM up to date, like just all sorts of little things that really will help launch you in the right direction. So, and he gives us action items as well, which I always love. So he said to audit your outreach, dedicate 1 hour a week to innovation. He had, some different things to do. So if you want an action item or two, he gives you a few examples. So go give it a read, good stuff. And you'll walk away like, oh, I can do this. So loved it. And then coming up this week, we have the rundown, and it's sponsored by our friends at Crystal D. Yes. And look look what I have. This is one of Crystal D's awards. Isn't
It's
this
big.
awesome? Wait a second. There we go. Yes.
It's very cool.
Isn't that cool? I could sit here forever. There's like mirrors in there and it all like reflects. Isn't that addictive?
It is.
All right. I digress.
So they're the sponsor of the
Yes, just in case. I had to give everybody a visual. All right. So Crystal D sponsored the rundown this week, and it's a little bit crazy going on. It's the start of summer, and Laurie was off on her European adventure. She was doing a cruise to 4 different countries. So she's off, and then Amelia is going to be heading to Africa. So they're kind of doing some creative episodes for the next 1 or 2. So they have a special edition coming up, and it is a Living with Laurie recap. So
I'm excited for that.
So everybody can give that. I'd like that too, because Laurie has so many amazing tips.
She does.
So having like the top picks all into one, it'll be a good reminder for me to start doing things. So I think that about wraps it up.
Right?
Busy week.
It was a busy week.
Yeah. And now we get to go and have
we're off to
ice cream. So excited. All right. Well, thanks for co-hosting.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right. I'll see you back here next Thursday, maybe at the same time, maybe at the right time. I don't know.
Bye.